Hi, this is Callie. Many industry-leading organizations rely on legacy mainframe applications for core transaction processing. In this video, we'll introduce a mainframe application web enablement technology that can help those organizations with their business's digital transformation. Virtel Web Suite is a comprehensive product line to web-enable legacy mainframe applications. Virtel Web Access is Virtel's base configuration. Virtel functions as a browser-based 3270 terminal emulator and provides the modern web-to-host infrastructure required for further web enablement initiatives. Virtel Web Modernization, which comes with two IDEs, allows for the replacement of the application's screen user interfaces with modern and user-friendly web user interfaces, oftentimes referred to as GUIs. Virtel Web Integration, which comes with one IDE, allows for the creation of interactive bidirectional connections between mainframe and web services in the form of web, message, or email services. So how does Virtel work? Transaction programs interface with users via 3270 screens. Those screens are served to users via VTAM SNA connections. Virtel runs as a started task on the ZOS or VSE system. It intercepts the VTAM SNA connections using a VTAM relay. Behind the VTAM relay is a communication protocol conversion engine, which functions as an interface between VTAM SNA, the communication protocol of the mainframe, and TCP/IP, the communication protocol of the web. Behind the protocol conversion engine is an IP server. In the case of all but email services, an HTTPS server. This IP server manages the TCP/IP connections with web client devices. At runtime, Virtel converts the 3270 screens into HTML5 JavaScript web pages, which look and behave as 3270 screens. Those web pages can be rendered by any web browser running on any web-enabled device. This is the base configuration of Virtel. It is referred to as Virtel Web Access. It relies solely on standard web technology, that is, end-to-end SSL encrypted HTTPS connections and HTML5 JavaScript web pages with 3270 TE ergonomics. The web access infrastructure can be leveraged to further transform the mainframe applications, that is, to replace the 3270 screens with a modern GUI and to expose mainframe transactions and data through web services. The same exact Virtel infrastructure, except with customer-developed scenarios and customer-developed templates, can convert the same application screens into a modern and user-friendly graphical user interface thanks to the insertion of widgets and AJAX features. The GUI development is done with two IDEs called Virtel Studio and Virtel Screen Redesigner. This configuration is referred to as Virtel Web Modernization. With yet another type of customer-developed scenarios, the same Virtel infrastructure can create an interactive bidirectional interface between the screens and the web, in the form of API-based web, message, or email services. This configuration is referred to as Virtel Web Integration. Note that unlike other web enablement solutions, Virtel doesn't rely on middle-tier servers, which eliminates the issues typically associated with middle-tier servers, namely, additional hardware, software, and support costs, additional latency, which can lead to slow response times, a potential for bottlenecks, load balancing, and scalability issues, additional complexity and fragility, and additional components to troubleshoot when something goes wrong. It also eliminates the TN3270 connections, which oftentimes rely on a VPN for data encryption. Now, with a solution running on the mainframe, the question that immediately comes to mind is, how much CPU will it consume? And will that consumption impact the mainframe costs? The answer is that Virtel consumes just about the same CPU as the mainframe running TN3270 servers it replaces. We benchmarked it to be sure. But how come? It's because the smarts of the terminal emulation, or GUI, are in the JavaScript HTML code of the web page, and that code runs in the client's web browser, not on the mainframe. Mainframe resources are only used to merge the data coming off VTAM into a predefined web page template, and to send the completed web page to the user via an HTTP server. When it comes to performances, Virtel typically outperforms traditional terminal emulators because it has a very short end-to-end instruction path. This is achieved by running only high-level assembler code on the host, no Java, and using no middle-tier servers. Note that multiple instances of Virtel can coexist on the same system, and that Virtel doesn't have to run in the same partition as the applications it interfaces with. Instead, Virtel can run across LPARs on a single system or across systems in a SysperTec configuration. Also note that Virtel can be front-ended with load balancing servers for load balancing or hot fallback. The bottom line is that Virtel is as fast and scalable as the mainframe it runs on. Next, we'll focus on the first part of our proposed digital transformation plan, which we refer to as Web Access. It consists of replacing TN3270 connections with end-to-end HTTPS connections and TN3270 emulation applets or plugins with browser-based 3270 terminal emulation.